Ambience Pharmaceuticals, a 4,000 crore turnover company, is planning to acquire a Australian pharmaceutical company, Roodey Lifesciences, at the all-cash deal for rupees 1,200 crores. Acquisition shall give Ambience Performance a much-needed facelift. With Roodey, Ambience will be able to enter the niche dermatology space. As a vice president who has been just appointed to work as a president of Roodey Lifesciences to be based at Australia, I have to choose a team fellow members from India to work there, having high cultural sapience, so that this cross-cultural acquisition shall be a jewel in the crown of the Ambience. The two colossal failures from our industry, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories' acquisition of the Germany's fourth largest generic drug maker Beta Pharm and Biocon's investment in Germany-based Corp, is lying in front of me. Before I choose a cross-functional team with high cultural sapience, who can comprehend how much the landscape had changed, who has consistent behavior with that of everyone around them, and who can never be disheartened when they recognize if arrangement is not working. My main intention is to make my team members understand the policy that we have to make sincere attempts to reduce hierarchical distinctions both within and between the companies to draw the two enterprises closer together. Cross-functional team of Ambience Pharmaceuticals started to analyze the issues relevant with the deal and started doing due diligence. And it should come as no surprise that the human actions, gestures, and speech patterns a person encounters in a foreign business settings are subject to an even wider range of interpretations, including ones that can make misunderstandings likely and cooperation impossible. We implemented a policy at the base at Roodey Lifesciences that we are reasonably flexible about the deadlines and receptive to highly imaginative proposals, whereas earlier at Roodey, culture was strict about deadlines. Flexibility in the company's culture of standing at close proximity, greeting the female clients with a hug and a kiss on both cheeks were allowed. Initially, the employees at Crore were receptive to the change. However, after a few weeks, they gave up. Some view the new policy as a victory of carelessness over prudence and an attempt by Ambience to impose its identity on Crore, whose professional dignity would suffer as a result. In short, I realized that they did not understand the impulse behind the change, as they had been in the Crore environment for so long that they lacked the motivation to see the experiment through. To put it even more simply, they fear greatly of being mistaken for Ambience employees. I realize that all these difficulties correspond to the three components of cultural sapience: the cognitive, physical, and the emotional or motivational. Cultural sapience reside in the body, the heart, as well as the head. Although most managers are not equally strong in all three areas, each faculty is seriously hampered without the other two. I very well know that many of our employees came from different business units and had grown up in different countries. I adopted three changes and recommend all these changes in the lifestyle of all the expatriates from India. Instead of equating the employee's behavior with the client's corporate culture, I looked for consistencies in the various individuals' traits. I determined that they were all punctual, deadline oriented, and tolerant of unconventional things, which infer much about the character of their employer. Evidence of an ability to mirror the customs and gestures of the people around you will prove that you esteem them well enough to want to be like them. By adopting people's habits and mannerisms, you eventually come to understand in the most elemental way what it is like to be them. They in turn become more trusting and open. A person who does not believe herself capable of understanding people from unfamiliar cultures will often give up after her efforts meet with hostility or incomprehension. By contrast, a person with high motivation, upon confronting obstacles, setbacks, or even failure, re-engage with greater vigor. I sent back those expatriates who were not having confidence in their own efficacies. Deciphering the cultural and subcultural codes, if a person has small modicum of cultural sapience, shall help to understand that sometimes pairing layers of cultural and subcultural codes make people to equate the merit of an idea with the merit of a person presenting it. Lack of cultural sapience can be easily seen around in people where there is a tendency to suspend judgment, to think before acting. Suspension in person with high cultural sapience can be for hours or days, while suspension in person with low cultural sapience can be for weeks or months. Unlike other aspects of personality, Cultural sapience can be developed in psychologically healthy and professionally competent people.